Hi everyone, I'm Mark Clements, Artistic Director, and I'm so glad that you have joined us this evening for the announcement of Milwaukee Repertory Theater's 2022-23 season. On March 12th, 2020, we gave our final performances of the 2019-20 season due to COVID-19. At the time, we thought we might only be closed for a month or so. We had no idea that it would be over 12 months before we would have audiences back in our spaces. We were finally able to reopen the Quadracci Powerhouse with Alexis J. Roston singing the music of Ella Fitzgerald in April of 2021. That 4-week run of performances gave us the confidence that we would be able to bring you a full season of 12 plays for our 2021-22 season at the high level of artistry you have come to expect of us. But in order to do so, it required that we change our performance schedule, shifting the start of our season further into the fall with more shows than typical in the latter half of the season. Most importantly, it required that we keep our artists, staff, and audiences as safe as possible with our robust health and safety protocols, and it required the support of you, our loyal audiences. Because without you sitting in our theater here, there is no reason to perform. We did all of that and more. We are now 3/4 of the way through the season, and it has been truly heartwarming to see audiences laughing, crying, and simply enjoying themselves in all of our 3 performance venues. We have proven to you that, and to ourselves, that we can produce live theater safely in this COVID environment and at a very high level. Your support has been so amazing, and we are truly grateful. It represents a turning of the page and a back to normal, whatever that might be, as we look towards the 22-23 season and many more. Okay, now let's talk about the 2022-23 season, which is why you've joined us tonight. First, the season will revert back to a more typical Milwaukee Rep performance schedule. We will start performances in the Stackner Cabaret just after Labor Day. Our big musical in the Quadracci Powerhouse will once again be in the fall, and the entire season will end just before Memorial Day. There will be a total of 12 plays, 11 as part of our subscription season, plus our annual holiday production of A Christmas Carol. We'll be producing 4 world premieres, the second play of our Classic Play Initiative, and we are once again slated to serve over 20,000 plus students through our student matinee and in-school reading residency programs. I want to give a special thank you to the sponsors that have committed so far next season. Without their ongoing support, many of the shows we have chosen for you would just simply not be possible. Additionally, our entire season is sponsored in part by UPAF, United Performing Arts Fund. We thank them and all of our sponsors for making this work possible. Okay, you have waited long enough, so here is Milwaukee Rep's 22-23 season in chronological order. In the Stackner, starting just after Labor Day, we are pleased to be working with our friends from Artist Lounge Live, the same team that is bringing us Get Happy. Angela Ingersoll sings Judy Garland in the Stackner this May. To bring you Unforgettable, John Mark Magaha sings Nat King Cole. In this heartfelt concert, acclaimed singer, storyteller, and multi-instrumentalist John Mark Magaha leads a lush jazz combo, reflecting on Cole's trailblazing career with poignant insight and intimate charm. Features all the classic songs, including Unforgettable, Route 66, and Mona Lisa. To give you a little taste, here is a sizzle reel from the show.
L is for the way you look at me in your kicks on Route 66. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa.
It's going to be an incredible show and the perfect way to kick off our 69th season. Next will be our musical in the Quadracci Powerhouse with the long-anticipated return of Ragtime. A decade ago, Ragtime broke all box office records, becoming the hardest ticket in town to get. We are so thrilled to be remounting this incredibly important musical that follows three families from diverse backgrounds in pursuit of the American dream. This show is even more relevant today than when we first produced it. I'll be directing it again, and I'm excited to revisit the story as I reflect back on everything that has happened for me personally and in our country over the last 10 years. The first play in the Stemkey studio will be the world premiere of Wife of a Salesman by acclaimed playwright Eleanor Burgess. Eleanor wrote the play The Niceties that we produced in the Stemkey in the fall of 2019. Along with Writers Theatre in Illinois, we co-commissioned her to write this piece. Eleanor brings her sharp dialogue and spirited debate to this play about a 1950s housewife from a certain classic American drama by Arthur Miller who tracks down the woman who is sleeping with her husband. The two discover that they have more in common than society would have them to believe. It raises important questions of marriage, duty, and happiness in this frank expose of the ways in which the world has and hasn't changed across generations. Back in the Stackner for the holiday season, we have Beehive, the 60s musical. Beehive is a non-stop, energetic celebration of the powerful female voices of the 1960s with such timeless hits as My Boyfriend's Back, Be My Baby, Son of a Preacher Man, and Me and Bobby McGee. Told from the perspective of 6 young women who come of age in this enigmatic decade, the show is complete with big hairdos and fashion of the 60s. The holiday season also brings a world premiere to the Quadracci Powerhouse, The Nativity Variations by Catherine Trishman. Catherine, the playwright of our acclaimed production of One House Over, wrote an article for Slate magazine about how she had to step in to save the telling of the Nativity at her local church. It was such a hilarious article that I said to Catherine, I think this is the basis of your next play. And she said, you hire me to write it and I will. And we did, as part of our John Jack D. Lewis New Play Development Program. While the Nativity Variations didn't end up being exactly what happened at a local church, it is perhaps even better. It's a raucous, heartwarming holiday comedy about a ragtag group of avant-garde community theater artists writing and performing a nativity play. I can't wait for you to experience this wonderful new piece. Which leads us right into our annual holiday tradition of A Christmas Carol at the historic Pabst Theatre. After a year away due to COVID, as a director and a writer of this adaptation, it was so therapeutic to revisit this piece last fall and look at it with a fresh eye. It's back and better than ever, and we are excited for our 47th season of this holiday classic. The new year has us back in the Quadracci Powerhouse with the second year of our Classic Play Initiative. Just yesterday, we closed the tremendously popular production of As You Like It, which we will follow up next season with Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, directed by our artistic producer, Laura Braza. Laughter, witty wordplay, and 1990s nostalgia come together in this joyful and cherished classic, one of Shakespeare's most delightful comedies, when 4 young romantics learn the course of true love never did run smooth. With mistaken identities and a town full of well-meaning but mostly ridiculous characters, it leads to sheer theatrical delight on the Powerhouse stage. Currently in the Stackner Cabaret, we have the production of My Way, a musical tribute to Frank Sinatra running to standing O's each night. What better way to follow that up but with a tribute to another Rat Pack member with Dino, an evening with Dean Martin. Dino transports us to a hip 1970s club where, accompanied by his signature drink in hand, the King of Cool entertains us all by weaving personal stories with a smorgasbord of classic hits, including Ain't That a Kick in the Head, Everybody Loves Somebody, That's Amore, and more. We've invited Nicholas Rodriguez, our Sky Masterson from Guys and Dolls, to sing a song from the show. Nicholas?
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me. Like the fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? The room was completely black. I hugged her and she her back. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head kept spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. I've sunshine enough to spread. Oh, it's just like the fella said. Tell me quick, ain't love a kick in the head? You know, speaking of kicks, I could use one right about now. Like the fella once said, ain't love a kick in the head? Now the first one was so nice, I think I should do it twice. Like the sailor said, quote, ain't that a hole in the boat? My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is just the beginning, my life is gonna be beautiful. She's telling me we'll be wed. She's picked out a king-size bed. I couldn't feel any better, I'd be sick. Tell me quick, oh hey, love a kick. Tell me quick, hey, love a kick in the head.
Next up in the STEM Key studio is The Heart Sellers, a world premiere by playwright Lloyd Sir, who wrote The Chinese Lady that we produced in the STEM Key a few years ago. We are thrilled to be working with Lloyd again on this new piece that we commissioned. It gives voice to the Asian immigrants' experience in the 1970s through the eyes of Jane and Luna. One Thanksgiving, over sips of wine and a very questionable frozen turkey, they reminisce and dream of spreading their wings together in the land of opportunity. Disco dancing, learning to drive, and even a visit to Disneyland. With grace and dignity, this powerful play asks, would you give up your heart to make a new home in a new country? Our fourth play in the Quadracci Powerhouse will be August Wilson's Seven Guitars. This riveting play, Milwaukee Rep's 8th production in August Wilson's iconic 10-play American Century cycle, explores faith, artistry, humor, oppression, and love, set to the fiery rhythms and intense lyricism of American blues music. Our final piece in the Stackner will be a world premiere that I'm creating called The Greatest Love for Whitney, a tribute concert to Whitney Houston. From her powerful anthems to her glamorous elegance on the silver screen, Whitney Houston's breathtaking voice helped her become one of the most beloved artists of all time. This concert event will celebrate her amazing career, taking audiences through a journey of her record-setting hits such as I Will Always Love You, Saving All My Love for You, Where Do Broken Hearts Go? I mean, the list goes on and on. Performed by two incredibly talented diva artists, this will be a show that is going to rock the Stackner, and you won't want to miss it. We'll wrap up our 22-23 season in the Quadracci Powerhouse with Tony Award winner for Best Play, God of Carnage. When two married couples meet to discuss a scuffle between their sons, the gloves come off as neighborly decorum disintegrates into laugh-out-loud, no-holds-barred mayhem. It's the perfect comedy to end our season. So that's our 22-23 season. We think we put together a pretty amazing lineup of productions, and we hope that you will join us for as many, if not all, of the shows that you can. Subscriptions are on sale right now on our website, along with more information about each production I've announced this evening. On behalf of my leadership partner, Executive Director Chad Bauman, and the entire Milwaukee Rep staff, we truly thank you for your incredible support, particularly over the last 2 years, and your loyalty, as none of this would be possible without you. Okay, folks, now I've got to let you go, as I am knee-deep in rehearsals for Titanic, the musical, which I hope you all have tickets for, and I need to get back at it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you again for supporting Milwaukee Rep. Cheers.